Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane. Got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games. Man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
So I am going to talk about helping sort of debunk a mistake too many of us are making. More and more and more and more people are talking about narcissism again. I was talking about this, I guess, to myself because no one was listening. I've been doing this for a long time, so it's fascinating to watch how this is proliferated. TikTok, YouTube, pick a place. It's happening. Instagram. But one of the risks in a lot of people are talking about it is I know a lot of people want to make it simple. But there's a risk in making it too simple, because I think when we make it too simple, we're not doing anyone a favor, especially somebody who's trying to survive these relationships. And in addition, a lot of criticisms get thrown at us for, no, you're trying to make this too simple. You're making it black and white. All you're doing is demonizing the narcissistic folks. All right, you're right. It is more subtle. So let's take that on in this video, because let's face it, just making it about the victim and the villain is too simple. A classic dichotomy in sort of the narcissism literature is there's a victim and there's a villain. Now, a major criticism I consistently get from people all over the place, experts, survivors, you name it, is that the narrative of the victim and the villain as being what the narcissistic relationship is, it's just too simple. I mean, really, short of it being a serial killer meeting a saint, it's not just that. Is there some kind of in between? Yeah, there is. People think like, well, I do feel like this person abused me and pulled a fast one on me. It's not as simple as that you were Little Red Riding Hood and the other person is the wolf. I personally believe that such a simple model does kind of devalue the other person in the narcissistic relationship and makes the non-narcissistic person seem more passive than they really are. So let's just start with some basic parameters, okay? I hate the word victim because to me it really does imply a passivity that is not the case with many people in narcissistic relationships. The fact is that most people don't understand narcissism, and that's the biggest problem. The world enables narcissistic patterns. People get indoctrinated into the cognitive dissonance of it all. It's a process. Getting played by a narcissist is a process all of us are vulnerable to. People don't get into narcissistic relationships because they are foolish. All of us are vulnerable to this, and society actually really encourages narcissistic relationships. My goal is fourfold in this work. First, to educate everyone about narcissistic patterns in relationships, how rigid they are, the harm they can do. Second, is I want to help people who are trying to heal from and survive these relationships. Third is I want to teach people how to not get into these relationships in the first place. And fourth, I really want to stop the narrative out there that keeps blaming the people who are experiencing narcissistically abusive relationships and teach people to stop trying to find the sunshine and the good parts of these relationships and trying to turn the narcissistic folks into heroes. Enough with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you this is not a show about narcissism. However, this is a show about victimhood. Everybody wants to play the victim, right? And Dr. Ramani really made it clear that there is a little blurred line. Yes, there are some people who are downright victims who didn't ask for whatever situation. Most of us don't ask for whatever situation we find ourselves in. But she made it very clear that something in you, right? Something about you and the villain that you've cast in your relationships movie, right, are alike, are similar, are somewhat the same thing. And like she said, the victim isn't always the damsel in distress. Victim, late 15th century, living creature killed and offered as a sacrifice to a deity or supernatural power or in the performance of a religious rite. From Latin, victima, sacrificial animal, person or animal killed as a sacrifice, a word of uncertain origin. Right? Quite interesting. None of us are a consecrated animal. Right? None of us are. But what we are is what my good friend Dr. Alan Berger said. We are all victims of victims. Now, for many people, when you hear victims of victims, what that means is it alludes to our childhood, how we were raised, who raised us. They were victims of victims as well. Somebody did something to them. We are all victims of victims. The villain-victim paradox. When does a victim become a villain in a relationship? What's the gray area called? Where the victim and the villain coexist within one person. Right? See, a lot of people get upset. When I tell you, we are whips, works in progress, right? You might be playing the unsuspecting villain role if you have rigid ideas about who your partner is, right? Maybe you've idealized them. Maybe you aggrandized who they are, and maybe you're in a relationship with the image of who you think they are, right? Could you be playing the villain yourself? Or the villain to yourself when you do that to another human being, if a human being is a work in progress, are you setting yourself up for failure? And if you're setting yourself up for failure, are you not a co-creator of an experience you say you don't want? Can a victim in a relationship become a villain? How can someone be a victim and a villain at the same time in intimate relationships? The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Can you give an example of a victim turning into a villain? Well, I don't want to make this about narcissism, but if you hurt a narcissist, that is an invitation for them to be the full-on villain that they are capable of being. Right? How does the concept of the villain-victim paradox create traditional views or challenge traditional views of good and evil? Can the roles of victim and villain be fluid, shifting based on perspective and context? Let me tell you, a lot of people don't like context in relationships. A lot of people like black and white answers. You lied because of this. No. Here's the context. A lot of people see context as lies and excuses and reasons for everything. Many people are not taught to think from a nuanced perspective. In what ways do societal norms influence our perception of victims and villains? And in no way, shape, or form am I trying to shame authentic villains, but many people can't wait for their partner to do something bad because they view that, and tell me if I'm wrong, 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580, tell me if I'm wrong. Can't wait till your partner do something bad because you can hold that against them. Is that not playing the role of villain? If your partner made a mistake and you keep rehashing it and you keep bringing it up and you keep telling your side of the story and you never acknowledge the things that you've done, is that not playing the role of a villain? What do you think? 1-800-920-1580. Is it possible for an individual to embody both victimhood and villainy simultaneously? I'm interested to know. What role does empathy play in the transformation from victim to villain? When I come forward, Zoe Williams is going to open the phone lines, man, because I want to talk to folk about this most pressing discussion.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions.
Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
This video, abuse is always abuse. Now, are there times when the victim can be abuser? Are there times when the abuser can be victimized? I know I'm stepping on your toes, but I want you to think about this from a larger perspective. Because if we simply put the man in a perpetrator treatment program and put the woman in an abuse recovery program, that is good. That is good. But we're trying to think beyond that. Are there times when the abuse victim becomes abusive? Perhaps it's out of reactive abuse, and we're very open to seeing it that way. However, bad behavior is always bad behavior, is what we say. And so are there times that we need to step back and say, wait a minute, this woman needs some help at emotion regulation? Are there times that the man needs some help because he's now walking on eggshells and he has been abused? Now, I know this challenges the way that I've been talking about this for years. It challenges the way we think about it, because we think about the abuser is the abuser, the victim is the victim, that's all there is to it. He goes into his program, she goes into her program. That's it, end of story. I don't think we're doing the best that we can do by thinking about it that way. So I want us to think about this differently. I want us to think about that.
So when I come back to you, I need you to understand, don't you know we've been conditioned to be abusive towards each other? Through justification of our partner's actions. If our partner hurts us because we were raised by victims of victims, that's our justification for being abusive. And when I say abusive, don't get it twisted. It's not always a smack in the face. It's self-centeredness. It's stonewalling. It's disagreeableness. right? It's a tendency to interact with others in an antagonistic manner. It's defensive. It's avoidant. It's vigilant for criticism. It's neurotic. It's negative about the past. It's fatalistic. Do you understand? Right? Are you hearing what I'm laying down? It's the constant need for validation. It's hypersensitivity to criticism. It's self-victimization. It's the lack of accountability. It's the lack of transparency. A lot of people do this. It's the lack of empathy. Oh, okay, since you hurt me, I get to cut off my feelings for you. Sure, for a time, for you to heal, for you to process, for you to pull yourself back together. If your relationship ever mattered to you, you take that time to heal. But you don't, listen to what I'm saying, because we live in a toxic society, most of us take that time to feed our resentment, to feed the ideological justifications we need to be some other person. Hurt is like the oil light going off in your car. It's an indicator that something in your spirit needs to be acknowledged. It's not I get to hurt them back for free card. And many of us have modeled this kind of behavior. Don't we live in a society that said, oh, you played in my face, which means you don't get to play in my face, which means because you played in my face, I get to flip it on you. How many times have you hurt somebody? And the way the universe got it worked out, the tables turn and they wind up hurting you. And if you're close, right? If you're close enough to them, that you're still talking to them, and you say, yo, this hurts. And they give you the glib, I know, I've been there too. Basically rubbing it in your face that this is what happens. You hurt me and this is your turn. How many times have you guys experienced that? See, we are all victims of victims. And how we process hurt usually is a reflection of how we were raised. At the heart of the villain-victim paradox lies the enigmatic gray area where victim and villain coexist as two sides of the same coin. This convergence challenges our black and white notions of morality, prompting us to confront the complexities of human nature. Can a victim become a villain? Absolutely, if they feel justified. When does a victim's narrative transform into a villainous one? These questions beckon us to delve deeper into the shadows of our own psyche, where light and darkness dance in a delicate balance. One of the key provocateurs, right, in this exploration is Dr. Ross Rosenberg's groundbreaking work on the human magnet syndrome. Everybody should get that book. This syndrome illuminates the dynamics of codependency and narcissism, shedding light on how individuals can be drawn into toxic relationships where the role of victim and villain are entangled. The magnetic pull between the wounded and the wounding speaks to the intricate dance of power and vulnerability that underpin the villain-victim dynamic. We've got callers on the line. I really want to know your thoughts, man, because when you talking to somebody, this is how you know people lack empathy. When you talking to somebody about your pain that may have come from you causing them pain, and they're glib about it, that's a lack of empathy. And they're kind of, serves you right about it. That's a lack of empathy. This is how you know you're dealing with somebody with empathy. If they hurt you and they are hurting because they hurt you, That's how you know somebody's heart is open. That's how you know somebody's rooted in empathy. If you're dealing with somebody that justifies hurting you. Now, justification isn't always lined up with somebody giving you context. Many people, like I said, man, many people stopped learning the moment they left high school. They just said, you know what, the hell with learning. Damn learning. I don't want to learn nothing else. Just because something correlates doesn't necessarily mean it's related. Okay? So many people think explanations are excuses. Well, guess what? Did you know drownings and murder and ice cream all increase during the summer? Ice cream sales. But ice cream sales ain't got nothing to do with drownings and murder. Murder increases because it get hot and people get irritable. Ice cream sales increase because it's hot and it's a cool treat. People drowning is because it's summer and they don't know how to swim. They correlate, but they're not related. Some people think if I'm giving you an explanation for what I did, if I'm giving you context behind my motives and actions, that I'm somehow making an excuse for what I did. Some people are, but not everybody. I know y'all not ready for the night. Listen, I'm ready for the night. I want to talk to y'all. Context is important for developing understanding. And context, especially if it's rooted in revealing the intent behind something, it gives a kind of understanding that is designed to make peace. Oh, I didn't mean to lie to you. I really didn't. I did because I was afraid. You deserved the truth, and I should have given you the truth. But I lied to you because of my own insecurities and weaknesses. That's not designed for somebody to then turn around and say, you're a liar. Or you should have never lied. As if they've never lied. Do you understand what I'm laying down tonight? When I come forward, the voice of reason, we're going to Chicago. We're going to Austin, Texas. We're going to Oakland, California. I'm over here laying it down flat, y'all. Let's get it.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The U.S. Embassy is evacuating non-essential staff members from Haiti as gang violence grips the Caribbean nation. The U.S. Southern Command says American military forces are assisting the operation and helping provide security at the request of the State Department. Families of diplomats and others were reportedly being airlifted out of the capital city of Port-au-Prince to safety. President Biden is calling on Congress to work with his administration to lower health care costs. While speaking in New Hampshire, the president outlined his health care agenda, which includes expanding the Affordable Care Act and capping out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors on Medicare. He contrasted his plan with Republican lawmakers who he says wants to repeal Obamacare. And Muhammad Ali will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame next month. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color Salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut. Book your appointment today at FantasticSams.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency. Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman. over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation. Admit that I said really was bold. I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her trauma, she too defensive to listen, I'll call so. Look at me, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. Oh, so I figured I'd call in early. Turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, yeah, yeah. That's the show. Yeah, yeah. That's the show. So just lay back your mind. Someday new. Everybody tuning in the zone. Cause he is.
So today I'm going to be talking about something you've heard about a lot. And I actually was struck. I consulted with my team and they're like, no, Dr. Robin, we actually haven't done the victim bully video. So here it is. I was thinking about it the other day. I just assumed I had talked about it because sometimes I think when I think things, I've talked about them. Not so much. So let's talk about the victim bully. I know you've heard about it, but let's just really break it down. It's really going to help you understand narcissism a lot more clearly. And if any of you have really encountered that victim bully dynamic in your narcissistic relationship, drop it in the comments. But the fact is, if you have a narcissist in your life, I can already guarantee you, you have encountered this dynamic. So the narcissist, we could actually almost call narcissism victim bully, but yeah, we call it narcissism. So the victim bully is one of the most classical dynamics in the narcissistic personality and in the narcissistic relationship. And like I said, I'm surprised I haven't talked about it. I think it's inserted itself here and there. But it's really important to understand this dynamic, the victim bully, accurately, because it also sheds a lot of light onto understanding the trauma bond. Now, let me lay out a scenario for you in a rough way. So there's a big, bad, bullying, bossy narcissist about raging around, yelling, demanding, being selfish, entitled, the basic expectable stuff from a narcissist. People are kind of afraid of this person. They walk on eggshells. Everyone is typically cutting the narcissistic bully a really wide berth. Finally, someone snaps. They don't even care about the narcissistic person's rage. And they snap back and they say, you are such an a-hole. Just stop. You are such a jerk. You are ruining everybody's day around here. Nobody wants to be here anymore because of you. We just wish you would leave. You are such an awful person. Okay. They say that to the narcissist. Then the narcissist does a Charlie Brown on you, head down, and they start in on, okay, I was just trying to do what people wanted. I spent the whole day trying to make sure I got you guys the right food and the right stuff. I was just trying to help everyone. And then they may lean into saying things like, oh God, you guys have always been out to get me. I am so good to everyone. Why do you always target me? Okay, if that's what you want me to leave? Okay, I guess I'm going to leave. If nobody wants me here. And they may even walk away, right? Oh, I know. You don't want me anymore. You just use me, right? So why don't you all just have a good time without me? And it's always seemed that no, you just expect me to just bring all the stuff and do everything for y'all, but you have more fun when I'm not here. And honestly, none of you understand me. None of you even want to understand me.
The victim bully dynamic. She pulled out Charlie Brown. Listen, we do it all the time. A toxic society raised us to be toxic in relationships. And I'm just as toxic as you are. But what you're not going to do is highlight my toxicity and not bring your toxicity into a starring role as well. Many of us, and this is how you know that there's an imbalance in the thinking, many of us want to aggrandize the toxicity of our partner. We want to make our partner the ultimate villain. Wherever I see unidirectional blame, that's when I know I'm dealing with a spiritual infant. Relationships are bidirectional. Our wounds, our central nervous systems, all of that stuff is attracted to each other. This is why Ross Rosenberg talks about the human magnet syndrome. Can't nobody be in a relationship that is devoid of internal issues. I don't have no internal issues. Everything happened to me. That's impossible. All right, I'm sorry. I digress. You know, I go on a diatribe, a little filibuster every now and again. We got callers on the line. Who's been on the longest? Everybody been on basically the same amount of time. All right, we're going to go from Reggie, Austin, Texas. Reggie, get in here.
What's up, man? Two things. I think every villain can be a victim in somebody's story based upon who's telling it and based upon what's being told. Nobody ever wants to paint themselves as the victim, as the villain. So to satisfy their own ego, they paint everyone else as the villain and them as the victim. So it's just a matter of perspective. But the second point is, if you make someone the object or the keeper of your happiness, and you make someone else responsible for your happiness because of what's been done to you in the past, be it honest or not, you're making yourself a victim, but you're really a villain because you're holding someone else accountable for what someone else did.
First off, let me stop you. I'm guilty of both of the things you laid out.
Okay.
I'm guilty of both of them. And I think it's important that we own what we need to own. Like, I'll tell a story. And because it's presented a certain way, if I'm talking about somebody and they'll bring it back to my attention and say, yo, you forgot to say this, or you didn't say this part, right? Again, you know, once it's brought to my attention, I'll be like, damn, I didn't say that. And you're 100% right. So when you talk about that first piece, I'm guilty of that for sure. You know, oftentimes we tell the story from our vantage point and we leave out key incriminating pieces that will make us look like the villain. I'm guilty of that. I just wanted to acknowledge that publicly. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yes. Well, if you're making someone else the arbiter of your happiness, then you're removing yourself from any type of blame, of being a part of your own failure, of your own thing, whatever you're in.
Stop right there. I'm guilty of that.
Right.
I'm guilty of that, Reggie. I have made somebody the answer to all my heart's desires at my own detriment. Go ahead, finish.
Why would you do that? Why would you purposely do that?
Because when you're anxious, preoccupied, attachment, codependent, SLDD, when you have these issues, you tend to think somebody's going to love you the way you were supposed to be loved when you were a kid. Right?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the work, right? So if my foster mother, who had a home, who was married, who loved me and my brother as her own, if she had a secure environment and we being loved on correctly in a healthy environment as young kids in our formative years, right? We get sent back to the projects to a mother who is now 6 years, didn't have us for 6 years. She's 6 years on medication. She's codependent. She's an SLDD. So you go from secure to insecure. Do you see? Do you see how now it's a reprogramming, it's a relearning of how to relate. So now I got to move into adulthood looking for somebody to fill the void that my mother created where there wasn't a void when she got me. Do you see?
Okay.
So you got to understand, nobody wants to wake up and be like, please love on me the way I need to be loved. Nobody wants to do that. But if you start peeling back the onions of where you came from, you might be that person. Go ahead, Reggie.
And at the same time, the woman you met, bruh, she just met you last Tuesday. She don't know any of that. She wasn't part of any of that.
Okay, stop right there.
And for you,
wait, stop right there. That's a good point. She doesn't know that. But guess what part of her does?
Tell me.
Her unhealed wounds. Her spirit knows it. This is what trauma bonding is about. Trauma bonding is the trauma in me recognizes the soulmate trauma in you. This is what the human magnet syndrome is about. You see,
okay.
It's our central nervous system's going, hey, we're related. That's why we recognize each other. Go ahead.
Okay. You recognize each other, I guess, in some way, which I get. I mean, it makes sense. But, man, for you to lay all of that at her feet,
but nobody's laying. I think you're missing it. Nobody's laying it at her feet, Reggie. It comes with you. Nobody's laying it at anybody's feet. It comes with you. It is unconscious. This is why Freud, who was pretty much wrong in everything he said, but a lot of what he said is still prevalent in psychology today, right? Freud felt we could sit down and talk it out. Right? Let's talk about your dreams. But a lot of Freud's work, it was unfalsifiable. You couldn't prove it right or wrong. But a lot of what he did is still in psychotherapy today. Right? But a lot of it was wrong. So again, when we're looking at the subconscious and the unconscious, for the person coming into the relationship, many people are unaware that they're narcissistic. Many people are unaware that they're SLDD. Many people are unaware that they're BPD. Many people have no idea. Many people don't even know that they're a vulnerable narcissist. Do you see? Self-awareness is the key. The self-awareness lets you know, I came from this situation. I didn't roll out of the bed yesterday, Reggie, to know like, oh, you're SLDD. Your mother was SLDD. Oh, your foster mother was secure. Oh, your relationship with your foster mother and your foster father, that was the most secure relationship you had. But it didn't last that long. You had to be reprogrammed when you went back to the projects. This is where the psychological damage happened to you as a child, sir. I had to do some self-work to even get to that point. Does that make sense?
That does.
So many people you run into have no idea that their mama was a covert narcissist. That their grandfather was a grandiose narcissist. That their daddy was a SLDD. Many people have no idea what formed them. Hold tight, Reggie. I love it when you on there. When we come forward, I swear for Jesus, we gonna go back to Austin, Texas. The fire is real.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hey LA, when you're trying to get where you need to go, like work, school, and what matters to you, Metro is here to get you there. With discounted fares and free pass programs, Metro is making public transportation affordable and easy to ride for everyone. Plan your trip at metro.net.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need you, boo. I gotta see you, boo. And the hearts all over the world tonight. Said the hearts all over the world tonight. I need you, boo. Oh, I gotta see you, boo. And the hearts all over the world tonight. Said the hearts all over the world tonight. Hey, little mama, ooh, you're a stunner. Hot little figure, yes, you a winner. And I'm so glad to be yours. You're a class, all you're running. Ooh, little cutie, when you talk to me, I swear the whole world stops. You're my sweetheart, and I'm so glad that you're mine. You are one of a kind, and you mean to me what I mean to you. And together, baby, there is nothing we won't do. 'Cause if I got you, I don't need money, I don't need cars. Girl, you're my all. And oh, I'm into you, and girl, no one else would do. 'Cause with every...
There's a difference between being a victim and playing the victim. Playing the victim involves exaggeration and manipulation.
Wait. Stop. No. You're not finna come in swinging like that. Lord have mercy. Did you hear what she said? You're listening to the Voice of Reason live on KBLA Talk 1580. You know I play clips. But when the clip come through swinging like Mike Tyson in the early 90s, in the late 80s, Lord have mercy. What did she say? Can we play it one more again?
There's a difference between being a victim and playing the victim. Playing the victim involves exaggeration and manipulation. Truly being one means that you were legitimately victimized. Being in an abusive relationship would be a good example of being an actual victim. Someone might play one to avoid responsibility or accountability, wallow in self-pity, or control others. A classic move made by abusers is to play the victim. When they play this role, they seem vulnerable and less threatening. Here are some ways a person might play the role. They blame others for their feelings or situation. They act like the world is out to get them. Behaving as though they deserve special treatment. Using their trauma, mental illnesses, or experiences to justify abusive or toxic behavior. Doing absolutely nothing to improve their life or circumstances. Trying to one-up other people's negative experiences. Believing nothing is ever their fault. Do you know someone like this?
Boy, man, oh Manischewitz. Can we normalize this? Your partner hurting you isn't always a victimhood creating moment. How about your partner hurting you is par for the course for being with another human being? Huh? How about that being par for the course? And when I say hurting you, I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm not talking about boxing with you. I'm not talking about gaslighting. I'm talking about normal things that, you know what, I deceived you. Right? I critiqued you really harshly. I raised my voice at you. I kept something away from you. Right? Am I saying should we normalize lying? No. But not all lying is malicious. We had that show the other day. Many people don't want to have that conversation, but okay, I will. I'm not afraid to have the conversation. Are you afraid to have the conversation? Let's talk about it. My brother Reggie is on the line. Reggie, please.
It seems like we go ahead, man. It seems like we have to take responsibility and we have to go above and beyond to be empowered. I mean, empowerment says that you have the power to do what you need to do, and you need to take responsibility for this, for these things, so we don't keep doing this dance between villain and victim. You have to just continue on past what you think you can, and the other person also has to give you the room to be what you can ultimately be, like work through your stuff. Both sides. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. You said
not
your partner has to give you the room to work through your stuff. Please expound on that.
Yes. They can't say this is all you're going to be. They have to see more for you and see you being the best person you can be. Now, you can do better than this. I know you can. And since I know you can do better than this, I'm going to give you the space to do that. I have to love you differently in different events or at different times. Maybe I have to love you close, have to love you farther, whatever it is. Give you rooms, like physically. But I'm not leaving this because I can see more for you. Now you didn't open it up because somebody just hit it.
L.S. Jefferson says normalize forgiveness and lead with love, not pain. But let me ask you this, Reggie. If you normalize forgiveness, are you not normalizing hurt? And is that natural? Go.
It's not natural. None of this is natural. It's natural to walk away and say, forget it. That's natural.
No. Stay right there, Reggie. I'm sorry. Stay right there. You can't. When we come forward, we gotta. You said forgiveness is not natural. When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna tear down Los Angeles with this conversation.
Without you, there's no one left in. You're like Jordans on Saturday. I gotta have you and I cannot wait now. Hey, little shorty, say you care for me. You know I care for you. You know that I'll be true.